2 hours.
Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the Golden Age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena Starseed.
Become the top of the existing hierarchical order, and everyone can have a fresh start on a more equal footing. So I just, as we read this, as we looked through this, and I kept thinking of rise to the occasion by creating through visioning the world we do want to create and letting go of the tower and all the structures that are unnecessary to let the walls fall down. So I find this a very fascinating card in light of what has happened to the young people here.
When we had our last show, we had on an artist named David Alexander English, and he was talking about the tarot as a little deck of mirrors. And Kim has this really incredible mirror box that what's it called, the infinity box?
The infinity box, yeah. That's an interesting device. It's fun to play with, because you can put objects in there and they get reflected infinitely down into these wells, these deep wells of infinitude, and it's just a fascinating device. You can play with lights in there, put objects in there, and they're repetitive and collective nodes. You can see all the nodes existing through. Oh, we have an emergency here. Here comes the crisis of the moment.
Interesting. That matches our tarot card. Everything is intentional. And so these are little tiny mirrors, just like his mirror box is a deep well that reflects the fractals of our psyche. And, as I really enjoy looking at the major arcana. So far, every show that we've done has been with a card so that we can look at a little tiny mirror of ourselves. And so if you're watching the show today and we're on this card, it really symbolizes letting go of false identification with the ego, the structures in your own persona that don't serve you anymore. Maybe it's the lack, the anger, the frustration, the resentment, the poor little mini-me. All of those things that tower over our life are now being abandoned with this bolt of light, this light of consciousness that's breaking us through to this another level, another transformative perspective, a viewing position that's from the crown of this Buddha. And I'm going to show this really closely to the camera so they can see it right there. See that? In the tarot deck, the Tower card is called Thunderbolt. And, you know, a thunderbolt, that electricity, that lightning, light changes things. Heaven on earth. Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the Golden Age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena Starseed. Hi, this is Athena.
Hi.
Welcome to our show, and we actually have a new sponsor.
Hi, this is Athena. I am calling in from home today, but I just wanted to say that we have our beautiful, gorgeous co-host, Kim Hix. He is in Hawaii right now, and he will join us next week. But today I wanted to talk about the tarot and imagery and how the psyche, the soul, receives information in pictures. And for thousands of years, I mean, starting out with cave paintings in ancient Egypt and also, too, in like caves from the Dogon tribes, the Aboriginals, I mean, all the way through the Aztecs, through all kinds of different sacred art, we have been able to receive psychic information from a single image. And why? Because scientists are just now discovering how the right and the left hemisphere work together and how that psychosymbology affects our chemistry. And so from ancient times, they would put into hieroglyphs or pictures information that were dormant in all of humans. And so I started studying the tarot probably a year and a half ago. I was not very familiar with it because I had a natural intuitive gift to see images and channel, which is what I call the presence of now. I'm not channeling another entity. I'm not channeling some other aspect of myself. I'm channeling the presence of now, a unified field. And so when I use the tarot cards in the readings that I do for my personal clients and also for the work that I do with the Mystic Journey, I'm using the cards to tell a specific story about the client. So if you can imagine, like astrology, when you're born, the stars are in a certain position, and there's a certain vibration, and they tell a little snapshot of a story from the moment you were born. When I do readings and I'm throwing down tarot cards, I'll throw 7 cards in 7 different positions on the different 7 chakras, and I will have opened a vortex, and I will be in the field with my clients getting in tune, and then the cards will start talking to me. And so each card has a specific message, and there's a positive and a negative aspect to all cards. Just like in life, there's a positive and negative aspect to all situations. And I feel right now in humanity, we do get polarized in duality, and it's time to take not only the cards, but the situations in our life and integrate them so we can see them in a holistic view. So what I thought I would do today was pull a couple cards and talk about the effects of these cards energetically on our life. So I have before me the Magician. Now, the Magician card is going to talk about mastering the elements of the body. And if we look at the body as a composite of the universe, we look at the body also as a composite of planes. So there's a physical plane, which would be pentacles. It's your physical body, your body temple. What you're putting in your body, food, liquids, content, sounds, all those things that interface with your physical body has to do with the pentacle cards, how your body reacts on the material world. And when you know that as a magician, as a master, as a mage, that you have the ability to not only govern, but create at a very physical level. And to help your body create, it is important to detoxify the container, the body temple, and to purify the body temple on that physical layer so that you can be utilized for the collective whole in oneness by, let's say, source, love, God, whatever many names you want to give it. The cleaner that we are, the better the reception that we get on the physical plane, and the more service we can be not only to ourselves and our family, but our community. And so that's the first layer. So the magician wants to make sure, as an initiate, he's cleaning out his body field. So on a very brief thing, we're in spring. This is about detoxing. This is about decluttering our external environment. This is also about purifying our diet. And instead of just thinking about what you can't eat or what you can't drink, let's think about things that if you implement and you put in your body temple, that those other things slowly and surely will eventually fall away. So we're going to talk about colors of the rainbow, putting in the reds, and the oranges, and the greens, and the blues. So the deep greens are detoxify the body, the green leafy vegetables. The oranges, like the fruit with vitamin C and the bell peppers, and the yellows, like the lemons and the grapefruits that also detoxify the body. Ginger also would be like yellow, with very purifying, detoxifies the body. And the heart chakra for the pink and also green. So passion fruit, all of the berries, the strawberries, the blueberries, the raspberries, all those berries that are rich in antioxidants. And so anything alkaline is going to help your body be able to sustain in the material plane through all the stress and the contractions and expansions of anything that's happening. So as a magician, we want to look at that first plane of reality, our physical body, our physical environment. Now, the next thing that the magician in the tarot has to master is water, cups, emotion. And so now we're looking at our emotional body. So a lot of people correlate that to our astral body, our emotional nature. And our emotions are guided by our feelings. And so we really have to get into what we feel and how we feel about things, and then we can decide where our emotions are going to go. So extreme emotional distortion would turn into anger, rage, and of course, war at the very polarized end of unbridled emotion. And that's what we're looking at today in our planet is, if it's in the microcosm, you'll see it in the macrocosm. And so if each individual being can look at their own emotional distortions and figure out ways to bring them back into balance and harmony, then we can see that there's going to be more peace in the world, one soul at a time, one group, family group at a time, one community at a time, one country at a time, one continent at a time. So I'll be back after these commercial messages, and we'll pick up with the magician, and we'll go right back into the different layers that the magician has to master to be the magus of his own life. We're on CRN. This is Athena Starseed. This is a show called Heaven on Earth. Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages. Blessings.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code FLASH.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code FLASH.
Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. You know, we provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right. Watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, CRNTalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at CRNTalk.com. Video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and this is a portal of possibility where we are using our imaging center, our third eye, our imagination to create heaven on earth right here, right now, where we are. And the topic for today is really going deep into the symbology of the tarot. And we were starting out with the magician card, and we were talking about how to be the magician of our own lives, we have to address the different layers of reality. And so I went over briefly in the first segment the physical plane being pentacles, and what that pentacle represents to the querent or to the questioner when you're giving a reading or you're talking to somebody that would like some answers in their own life, and they're looking at how their reality is contracting and they can't make sense of it. Many people do turn to the keys of the tarot. And they are keys. The tarot keys are like, that's a metaphor for opening a door. A door where? A door within. It's an inner door, and it's coming from your soul. And as I said in the beginning, that the pictures open up the psyche. And so we went through the material plane, which is your physical body, your material environment, also your body temple, and to change that and to master that, that's really about your health, your fitness, your exercise, your well-being, your environment, your home, the stability of the roof over your head, and your sustenance. This is the main domain right there in the pentacle plane. The magician next then has to master the emotional plane. And we were talking about that, the emotional plane being the astral body, the emotional body. And the emotional body deals with our feelings. And the watery energy of cups represents different things to the people about how they're receiving emotional nourishment and how their cups can be spilled over or upside down or empty. And so we have to look at our own soul and do a personal inventory and look at where we can fill our cups up with things that really nourish our emotional body. Because during these times when things are breaking down and it could seem in the news a little chaotic with stuff that's going on with our current affairs, where are we getting our emotional nourishment? And so I'm going to suggest a couple things to help you. And I live in the City of Angels in California, Los Angeles, and there is a plethora of emotional fulfillment events here in LA, and they're springing up all over the planet because it's necessary. You know, and when there's a necessity, there's an opportunity for people to create more programs and more healing centers and more yoga studios. And so in the emotional fill-up cup, I want to talk about sound healing and sound baths, where people can go and lay down in a restorative yoga pose and allow sound healers to wash these musical sounds over their physical and astral bodies. And what it does is it changes the chemistry in the brain. It changes the body from fight or flight into a very peaceful theta wave that allows homeostasis to kick in. And this is where the body will really start to heal. So yoga, stretching out the body, yoking your soul with your higher nature by doing stretches and inversions and yoga poses and sweating and wringing out the body, chanting in the yoga class, the deep breath work that yoga brings to the average person helps flush out the emotions in the body. Just deep breathing in general, but especially during a really good yoga class when you're breathing in through your nose and then you're slowly exhaling with Ujjayi breath, which is kind of like an ocean wave where you inhale and then you can slightly heal the exhale. So what you're doing is you're taking in light from the top of your crown with that breath, and you're bringing in pranic energy, and then you're exhaling all the toxic apana. So you have prana and apana. And so you're exhaling all the carbon dioxide, all the waste energy, all the things that don't serve you, so that you can start generating the body and flushing out your system. So we're still on the emotional body, and we're talking about the magician being able to master himself. In the mystery schools, they say, know thyself, and you will know the secrets of the universe. This is Athena Starseed, and my coach, Kim Hix, will be back next week. We are on CRN Talk Radio with a show called Heaven on Earth. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Stay tuned.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. That's 800-716-9903.
We are the debt destroyer. Any debt you have, credit card, tax, student loan debt. Call now to get our free report that tells you how to destroy your debt. It's a great resource. Plus, when you make this free call right now, we'll have a debt destroyer expert ready to help you. They can show you how they can help you destroy your debt and get your life back on track. Debt problems don't have to be overwhelming. You can live stress-free and debt-free. Credit cards, medical bills, IRS tax problems, even student loan debt. Learn about free programs offered by the credit card companies, hospitals, and even the government that can help you slash your debt. Call right now for free information, including our Debt Destroyer Guide, a $300 value, yours free. Call right now.
800-515-6348. 800-515-6348. That's 800-515-6348.
1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in her lifetime. And while most people only think of the physical effects, there's something else that occurs in 98% of all cases. Vicki Dingus, Senior Vice President, Corporate Responsibility at Allstate.
Financial abuse is an invisible weapon used by abusers to control their victims. It's the #1 reason women stay in or return to abusive relationships. When denied access to money, banks, even jobs, women feel powerless to care for themselves and their children.
Despite the major role financial abuse plays in domestic violence cases, local domestic violence programs strain to provide financial services to survivors. That's why the Allstate Foundation developed a curriculum 10 years ago to help domestic violence survivors regain their financial independence.
The Allstate Foundation's Moving Ahead curriculum has helped nearly 800,000 survivors rebuild their lives. It's free and available online and through domestic violence programs across the country.
For more information or to get help, visit the Allstate Foundation's website, purplepurse.com.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was the location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for 2. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Supreme grace, lay rain down through me. Supreme grace, lay rain down through me. Supreme grace, lay rain down through me. Rain.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and we are back with a show called Heaven on Earth. And this is a portal of possibility where we are creating our own internal heaven inside of our hearts to then be able to bring an external heaven into our reality. And we can only just start with who we are and where we are and bring it into our homes. And so we're talking about the tarot as keys, a key to, I want to say enlightenment, but personal enlightenment. And this is about like looking at the tarot as a guide to look at how we can better serve ourselves by understanding who we are, what we are, and why we do what we do. And if we have outdated programs that no longer serve us, we can use the tarot to guide us into higher levels of consciousness. And so light and enlightenment is about bringing light into the dark, shadowy energy of things in our life that we might have misunderstood in the past. So today's card we're going over is the Magician, and we were going over the different planes of existence. So we went over the first plane of existence, which is the material plane, and we talked about that as the pentacle energy. And then we went over the emotional plane. We talked about that as the feeling body, the astral body, taking in some of the watery emotions and how we react and relate to our internal and external environment. And so as the magician of our own lives, when we see ourselves in a reactionary pattern that has to be discharged, sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. Sometimes our patterns will continue to loop, and similar to the Matrix when you see the black cat and something loops. You go, oh, all right, I'm being triggered. I know this has come here before, and we have kind of like a 1 to 5 second window to take a pause, and that's where I want to install a nice, deep yogic breath. Inhale through the nose, Ujjayi breath, where you're sending the air through the back of the throat. The mouth is closed. And then you respond to your environment. That tiny little breath pause will help you slowly start to change your brain chemistry so that you can master your emotions. You can tune into your feelings, take that second to breathe, and then ask yourself a question. What am I feeling? Before you interface with the environment to react with what's happening, you can actually take some time for yourself to interface with yourself, and then you can respond. So to master the emotional body is to be able to realize that your feelings are like tuning forks, and your feelings are giving you feedback so that you can make decisions based on your higher nature. So we have to actually detox some of the feelings that are the lower nature, that are negative, that keep us in fight or flight, and keep us in competition, and keep us in greed and need. So what's interesting is the magician has to master the physical plane, which is the base chakra, and that's survival. And the medicine for that is really trust. And then we're talking about the cups card. That's our emotional body, our astral body. That's the watery energy. And that's gonna correlate to us being able to master that energy in our body, that feeling in tune energy. So on the second chakra, we have our creative center. So that's where we make babies. That's where the creation happens. So a lot of times when we have negative emotions stored in our body and we haven't sweat them out or ran them out or worked them out or felt them out, they will build up this residue, and you're going to come up with, depression. The opposite of creation is depression, and depression is located in that second chakra. It's unexpressed creative energy. That's where you can create a baby or a company or a spaceship to the moon. Anything from an atom to a universe can be created with the feeling nature of the emotions. So as the magician, as you're the magician of your own life, when you understand the power that you have in that second chakra, it behooves us to look at how we can harness the good willpower and discharge the negative lower nature. Because once we start filling our bodies up with light, those lower energies emotionally leave us. So let's talk about lower energies in the second chakra. So jealousy, attachment, abandonment. Anybody have any of those issues? Anybody struggling with any of that? For sure, it's the human condition. And so when we look at the tarot and we say, okay, now I have all these upside down cups. What is this saying to me? Like something's changing in my life. Something feels like it needs to be emptied out. Something is filling up in my life. I'm pouring in a lot of good emotions, a lot of joy, a lot of love. And from joy and love comes unconditional love. And that means you're loving because your just heart is open and you're loving and your emotions feel expanded. And the love that you have for a pet is an example of unconditional love. No matter what that pet does, whether they tear a shoe or they jump on the couch, or you still love your puppy or your kitty cat, or we have guinea pigs. So my daughter, no matter what they do, if they chewed her hair, they've torn through things, they've nibbled her jacket, she just loves them. She cuddles them and she loves them. And so we have to do that with our own inner emotional child on the emotional body, is to intimately cradle, love, and inspire our little inner emotional child to be filled up with that light. As we move on to the swords are the mental energy of the body, the mental body. Those are the thought forms. Now, all of these suits, whether it's pentacles, cups, swords, or wands, they're all pointing to integration. So nothing is separate. Everything eventually in the tarot, it's a composite of something holistic. It galvanizes aspects of the psyche to reintegrate them. So if we're looking at the mental body, what kind of mental diet are we on? What are we putting in our mind? And that starts from the moment that you wake up in the morning, the thoughts that you think right when you jump out of bed, to the music you listen to on your drive to work, to the people that you're talking to at the water cooler or at the Starbucks, to the news that you play on the television, to the newspapers that you're pouring into your consciousness. And we are perpetually on a mental diet of toxic content. And how do you know if it's toxic? Some people say, well, you can't stick your head in the sand and be an ostrich. No, I'm not suggesting that. But we are inundated with information in today's world. And it is 95% negative news and negative data. So as an emissary of light, it behooves us to put in and program our own mental content. So I'm just going to give you an example of what I do to influence my own mental body. As an alchemist, we're all alchemists of our own life. We are responsible for creating our reality. That's what alchemy is. Turning lead to gold is a metaphor for turning the human animalistic consciousness into an enlightened being, which is seeing everyone connected as whole. If everyone is a piece of the whole, everyone is a piece of God, everyone is a piece of ourselves, then it's easier to see clearly how to treat people and what to do and what not to do. So in the mental body, here's some of the things I do. I wake up in the morning, and I play a lot of positive music, and I put myself into an elevated state. So I use anything from Will Ferrell's Happiness song as I'm driving my daughter to school, because I have like about an hour each way in traffic. And that doesn't bother me because I'm playing really high-vibe music. Another incredible artist I love is Nemo Patel. He's an Indian rapper, and he basically had a spiritual awakening and left his, materialistic, sex-driven rap to sing about planting seeds of kindness, planting trees around the earth, singing songs of gratitude, helping our neighbors. And that came out of a sojourn when he went to Mahatma Gandhi's ashram and worked in the ghetto with some orphan children and had to clean the latrines and had to pick up, piles and piles of trash that these children were living on in these big trash heaps. And his heart broke wide open. And he said, wow, my music, the words that I'm saying, have an effect on the listener. And so he started a program called Empty Hands Music. You can go to his website where he gives the music away for free. And he believes that you come into this world empty-handed and you leave empty-handed. And the only thing that you really have to offer in those hands is what you give to one another while you're alive. And so when I'm driving, it makes my soul sing and my heart grow wings. And I'm singing songs of peace and gratitude. And that is just on my drive. Now, later on in the afternoon, I will sit at some point, like 20 to 30 minutes in the sunshine to receive my vitamin D. And I will often do a guided meditation. And I will recommend Kelly Howell. Kelly Howell's on YouTube. She has an incredible variety of meditations for the subconscious mind. And most of us who are in self-development and transformation know that 95% of our behavior is controlled not by our conscious mind, but by our subconscious mind. So that means when you're walking into a grocery store and you hear music, I can't always get what I want, and then 2 hours later you're singing, I can't always get what I want, and then you're complaining that you can't get what you want, you have been programmed. So if you know that, then you should be the programmer of your own body radio receptor. Our bodies are receivers and senders. We're transmitters of energy. And so I will put in Kelly Howell, and she has the secret universal mind of God. And there's part 1 and part 2. And I listen to part 2 during the day, and I listen to part 1 before I go to sleep. And what that does is it takes into account the cycles of my brain. So when you're induced, you have to go into theta or delta. And that's like delta, where she's actually doing these recordings from, is from 1 to 4 cycles per second. So she's speaking slower. She has binaural beats. If you use your earbuds, you have right and left hemisphere hemi-syncing together, which gives you an opportunity for that pineal gland to get oscillated enough to decalcify to then start opening. Because the purpose and the right use of the mental body is to start looking inward, relaxing the body in homeostasis, and opening up that third eye so that you can start to see your future self, make contact with your higher self, gather information from the wisdom of your own soul, and allow those to be your dominant thoughts, not the thoughts of other people, family members, your newspaper editors, or TV news, politicians, country nationalism, biases, any of that stuff. All of that is a gross diversion and distraction from having each being be able to have a state of joy, happiness, and peace in their present moment awareness. So as the magician talks about the swords in the tarot, the swords are your mental energy, your single-mindedness, your focused point of awareness. And the mage of the tarot wants us all to turn inward and look at how we're feeding our mental body. So from guided meditations to beautiful, uplifting music to Beethoven or Mozart or Vivaldi, these composers were channeling very high harmonics that spoke to the DNA, that could open dormant codes in our bodies to help us spontaneously heal. So I'd also like to point at Joe Dispenza. And any of you who've watched any of my YouTube clips, I have a show called Raising Reverence on YouTube, and I give a lot of little tips on how to raise your resonance, how to raise your reverence, your devotion to everything that is, all of life, to see the communion and the connections. And I talk about Joe Dispenza. So Joe Dispenza just came out with a book, Being Supernatural. And he talks about how to reprogram your brain, your neuronet, because what's wired together fires together. And so that means if you're getting angry every day at a certain time on a regular basis, then that starts to become a mood. And then the mood starts to become part of your personality. And then your personality becomes your identity. And then that becomes who you think you are. And now you're solidified as this cemented thought form that has these said emotional reactions that lives in this physical way. So it trickles all the way down from the mental plane to the emotional plane to the physical plane. And so that would be swords, cups, and pentacles. Now, I would just recommend jumping into Joe Dispenza on any different video he's ever produced, because he really talks about how to intentionally create your reality by using the techniques that we already have access to in our own internal pharmacy. So a thought, how does a thought affect your reality? One thought can affect cortisol to be released, or it can affect serotonin or dopamine. So one tiny little thought can either stress you out and bring disease upon you, or it can balance you out and bring spontaneous healing. All right, so this is Athena Starseed. When we get back, we're going to go over the last suit of the tarot, which is going to be Wands, which is our soul and our spirit. So this is heaven on earth. This is about mastering our very selves as our own mage of the tarot and having the keys to the inner kingdom of peace and love. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Pargo, dei baciani,
This is the entertainment answer. The live-action Aladdin is in theaters, and Will Smith found the role of the genie very appealing.
One of the major aspects was going from animation to live action, being able to modernize, to be able to pay homage to the original character and giving a new voice. There was potential to be able to create something that did both of those things.
Aladdin rated PG. For this entertainment answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
W's China Bistro. W's China Bistro is a classic, but you know what? It's an unusual classic. It's down in Redondo Beach in the South Bay, south of Los Angeles. And it's a casual classic, but it's also nice enough for a special occasion. It's really quite a wonderful restaurant. It's pretty, it's easy, it's reasonably priced. It's got something for everyone. It's W's China Bistro, and the food, of course, is great.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth. And this is a portal of possibility for us to actualize our own reality of heaven on earth through our very heart chakra. Being the alchemist of our own life, today's show we are talking about the keys of the tarot, and we are looking at the magician. And that is the very first card in the tarot. And those of you who don't know anything about the tarot are keys to the human psyche that will help you navigate into a higher consciousness realm, to yoke you with your higher self. And so we were looking at the different planes that the tarot points at. So the pentacles would be the physical plane. The cups would have been our emotional plane. We just got through the swords, which is our mental plane. And we were talking a little bit about Joe Dispenza. And I highly recommend Becoming Supernatural. It's his latest book. It's all over YouTube. He's been traveling all over the world talking about how we can become supernatural. And that's the magician. The magician is supernatural. To many people, magic is misunderstood science or hidden science. Until you know how to do it, you look at it like magic. But self-mastery is magic because it is, like what I spoke about before, turning lead into gold, turning an unconscious human into a conscious being, being able to master your physical body, which means not being overweight. It means being healthy, taking your body for a walk, detoxifying your body, exercising your body, sweating your body, the emotions, being able to fill your body with light and joy and love, and opening up that heart chakra with those emotions that bring more light into the body and start releasing some of the toxic energies, the lower things like jealousy, fear, greed, anger, lust, power, with breath work. Then we have the mental body, which is back to Joe Dispenza, becoming supernatural. We have a pharmacy in our mind. And before we went to the commercial break, I talked about one thought can create a hormone cascade of cortisol, which is a stress hormone that puts you into fight or flight, that affects your emotional body, that wreaks havoc on your physical body, and eventually could cause a dis-ease. So if thoughts can cause dis-ease, thoughts can also cause spontaneous healing. And the spontaneous healing is in the pharmacy of our brain with dopamine, serotonin, and Joe Dispenza talks about the placebo effect. There's a lot of research, check into it, on people having spontaneous healings through the placebo effect using the mind. Why? Because the mind can put your body into homeostasis. And that's really powerful. So the meaning of the wands is associated with our energy, our inspiration, our strength, our intuition, our creativity, our ambition, our expansion, our original life force. And so to look at the wands as your soul fire, it's hot, it's energetic, it's creative. This can also be transmuting. It's symbolic of passion and enthusiasm. And so when we tune into our soul's highest light, we can use that passion to govern the whole body to do the right thing, to be fully integrated. So thank you so much for joining us. Please jump in even deeper and find things that you enjoy and go deeper down the rabbit hole of your own consciousness. And remember Kelly Howell, Joe Dispenza, and the purpose of your very soul is tuning in and tuning up to raise your own frequency and to raise your own reverence. This is Athena Starseed. This is a show called Heaven on Earth. Thank you so much for being with us this Saturday. We also replay on Sunday from 1 to 2 Pacific Coast time. We'll see you next week. Be blessed, and I love you.